Yo, what's going on out there, Fight War? This your boy Money back with another one, fam. And this one here is on two big dogs in this fight game. We have Terence Crawford, a 5-division world champion, 3-time undisputed, the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the game. He is one of the greats of all time. Then we have Canelo Alvarez, who is a 4-division world champion. He is former 2-time undisputed. He is still considered the #1 pound-for-pound pay-per-view king in the game and still considered the face of boxing. You understand what I'm saying? So now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world, we all seen Canelo Alvarez take his third loss to Terence Crawford, right? And shouts out to Terence Crawford for doing his thing. But this one here is on Canelo Alvarez still being the face of boxing, still being the money man, and still being the guy that everybody wants to share the ring with. You understand what I'm saying? So when we look at the situation with Canelo taking his third loss to Terence Crawford, yes, it's a little minor setback, but Canelo Alvarez still has the fan base, right? Canelo Alvarez still has the fan base, and all Canelo needs is an opponent to get back in, the good graces of his fans. You feel me? All he has to do is go out there and get a W. We know he will be fighting for a title if he want to fight for a title, or he can go out there and fight for the money because he has the name and he has the recognition still, right? When you put in so much work over the years and build your resume up to be what it is, build your fan base up to be what it is, and having a real fan base that stand behind you, win, lose, or draw, you're still a big dog. You understand? And Canelo Alvarez is still a big dog. And there's cats that still line up that want to face him because they know they can get the recognition, and not just that, they can still get a big payday. You feel me? And that's what Canelo Alvarez brings to the table. When it comes to Terence Crawford, yes, he has the recognition. It adds on to his legacy for what he did against Canelo Alvarez, becoming 3-time undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Beating a man at 168, jumping up, 2 weight classes, some consider 3 weight classes, and doing this thing against Canelo Alvarez gives him a lot of fucking credibility. A lot of credibility. But the difference is, do it translate, right? Do it translate for Terence Crawford. You understand? Like, Terence Crawford needed a Canelo name for him to get some recognition. Like he needed an Earl Spence name for him to get some recognition, right? Terence Crawford is still not in a position to where you can just give him an opponent and it'll go regardless, right? Because if he go down and fight at Janet Beck or something like that, the fans is not going to react the same way they react with him fighting a Canelo or Earl the True Spence Jr. You know what I mean? And that's the difference between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford right now. Yes, he took some of Canelo Alvarez's thunder, but he didn't take Canelo Alvarez's position. You understand? Let that sink in. He took some of Canelo Alvarez's thunder, but he didn't take Canelo Alvarez's position that's in the sport of boxing right now today. You feel me? You can put Canelo and Terence Crawford on the same day, and Canelo Alvarez will still do better numbers, and Canelo Alvarez will still pull in more money, right? It don't take away from who Terence Crawford is and what he done. It's just the fact that Canelo is still the bigger superstar. You understand what I'm saying? It don't just translate like that. It don't just, he beat Canelo, now he is the new Canelo of the sport. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Especially when somebody like Terence Crawford, right? And Canelo, he understands his position. He understands where he's at in the game. He's been around it a long time. That's why there's no panic in him. You know what I mean? There's no panic in him. With Terence Crawford really on his way out the door, who knows if he got 1 or 2 more fights, who knows how many times he want to fight. He just can't fight anybody and get, the biggest paydays or things like that because they know it's not going to sell. Now, with Turkey coming to the table and paying X amount of dollars and things like that, you do get some extra bread in the pocket. But you're not going to get that big payday that you're looking for, right? And Terence Crawford, after beating Canelo Alvarez, he deserves a big payday. He deserves it. That's why I tell people his biggest thing is a rematch with Canelo Alvarez. That's his biggest fight. That's the biggest position that Terence Crawford is in, to try to get a rematch with Canelo. You understand? That way it'll be worth his while. He will get what he's deserving. He's not taking a step back, right? The fans are still going to be there to watch him. It's still going to be that big-time fight that you're looking for to put you on a big time stage. You know what I mean? Because you deserve it. Him falling back, talking about going to 160, fighting a Janabek or whomever at 160 is going to take a step back. It's not going to be as big. It's not going to, like, the recognition is not going to really be there. You know, with the fans watching, the hardcore fans watching, we want to watch and be like, okay, it's Terence Crawford, he did what he did, but it's not going to draw in the casuals, right? It's going to be like another Madrimal fight. It's not going to draw in the casuals. And, you know, the buzz is not going to be that big. Like, everybody that was riding for Terence Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez, they not going to be there for his next fight against a Janabek or somebody at 160 pounds. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? It was a lot of bandwagon going on where a lot of cats were jumping on Terence Crawford bandwagon because they didn't like Canelo Alvarez. You feel me? And they wanted to see Canelo lose for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of fake bandwagons that's jumping on Terence Crawford, you know, just to try to say, I told you so. And Canelo ain't this and Canelo ain't that. So it was more a lot of, you know, Canelo haters acting like they was pulling for Bud for us being a real fan of Bud. You know what I mean? And shouts out to the real Terence Crawford fanatics and fans that really rocks with him. You dig? But when it comes to this situation, Canelo Alvarez still holds the position. Canelo Alvarez still holds the leverage. And if Terence Crawford and Canelo was to fight in a rematch, Canelo Alvarez would still be the A side. You understand what I'm saying? He will still get the majority of the money. It will still be a majority of a Canelo Alvarez fan base. You feel me? But Terence Crawford would be right there. This is no knock to him. This is just the nature of the beast, right? Just the nature of the beast. To where if it was an up-and-coming superstar that was, like, coming into the play, right, it'd be a different situation on behalf of, like, oh, man, this guy's the real deal. He's up and coming. He's doing this. He's doing that. And he just took out Canelo Alvarez. For Terence Crawford as being somebody who was already established. His fan base was his fan base. And now that, you know, he got, a Canelo fight, it puts some recognition on him and add on to his legacy. But it don't take the position of Canelo as if it was a up-and-coming young, hungry lion that was going to be around for a minute, if you know what I'm saying. You feel me? So, shouts out to Bud, man. He did his thing. But, you know, his best bet is to try to get a rematch with Canelo because that's the biggest thing on the market for him. For his Canelo Alvarez, he can go out there being who he is, having the recognition that he got. He can pick another somebody, right, and make him a star, or pick somebody that got some recognition to go out there to get his, you know, right back in position to where he was at, and he can continue to push on like that. So, you know, we'll see how these things play out in the future. We'll see how long Canelo want to stick around. We'll see how long Terence Crawford want to stick around. But at the end of the day, Canelo Alvarez is still a face of the sport. He still got the recognition. He's still the money man, and that still makes him the big dog. Straight like that, and mighty be on to the next.